Well, I think there isn't enough awareness. I think that all over India, not just in Mumbai or in urban areas, but across the country, there is limited awareness about excessive usage of mobile phones, about proximity to base BTSs, the transmission towers, which, as you said, causes and emits a lot of EMR. And I'm glad at the outset that there's a news channel that's taking this issue up very proactively, because I think that will spread awareness without doing it in a sensational way, but in a way that alarms the average consumer, in a way that alarms the average citizen into action. I think that will put pressure on governments, on local governments especially, to create stringent legislations, to implement them very effectively, to make sure that there is adequate distances between where transmission towers are kept and between a school, a hospital, vulnerable people like children, pregnant women. And I think that that awareness will go a very long way in actually creating that legislation. So I think it's a very welcome step to create this awareness, but it's a long drawn out process. Today you've taken the step of conducting a survey in a city like Mumbai. You've got a local partner as well. If someone criticizes you and says the survey is incredible, I mean, one of the reasons I've written about this many times, one of the reasons why I've written to the Telecom Ministry about this, is I believe in the end the government, one arm of the government, should conduct this survey, and they owe that as their moral responsibility to the people of India to tell the people whether using cell phones, being close to base transmission towers is safe or unsafe. And from that we can get that research, which will go a long way in propelling state governments across the country, local municipalities, to create legislation that will actually ensure that cases like we've heard about Mr. Dastur don't crop up again.
Okay, Deepak Sawant, is it a case of there being lack of awareness and therefore no one really is to blame? Because you've come out, you've hit out against the Maharashtra government saying the Maharashtra government isn't doing enough. But the sense also is that this is a nascent area where nobody really knows what the figures are, nobody really knows what the statistics are. Let there be, we've surveyed 120 spots, that's because it's a private initiative. If this was to be a government initiative, let them sample all of Mumbai and then come up with a comprehensive survey, and therefore let's not rush in and start blaming people. Mr. Sawant, do you agree with that?
See, I am agreeing with you. The government of Maharashtra has doing nothing. They have not done anything regarding the legislation. As the US government has taken a step and they have taken out the legislation regarding this issue. As well as in India also, so many places there is agitation is going on. Karwar has closed down the mobile tower. The Delhi, they have got agitation. But unfortunately, the maximum user of the cell phone are in Mumbai, but they are not doing anything because they are not aware. Our state health minister is also not aware that whether this can cause the problem in the future. It damages the DNA also, it damages all the cell tissue also, it creates the irritability in the people, and there is no legislation how to erect the mobile tower on the building itself. That is the worst part of the story, and nobody looks after. Even the Mumbai Mahanagarpalika as well as the state government has got a joint responsibility to look into the matter, but they are not doing anything. They are just giving the permissions, and society is also taking the 2 lakh rupees from the mobile companies and they are erecting the tower, and for such a meager sum of the 2 lakh rupees per year, they are putting their life in the danger. That is the worst part of the story.
Zafar Haq, you're the person who's led the team that's done this survey. We had last week the results of the survey in Delhi, which Tehelka and Cogent had done. Now you've done this survey in Mumbai. How is Mumbai different from Delhi? Because I'm reading this report that you've prepared, which indicates that on several parameters Mumbai is actually more dangerous than Delhi. Explain to our viewers why and how.
Right. You see, the situation, there are a couple of things in it. To understand the readings, what your question is, we have to look at the demographic differences of Delhi and Bombay. What we have observed that the towers in Bombay are very close to the places people live. In our assessment of the situation is that there are not many rooftops available for our service providers to put up the tower. So wherever they find a place, everybody goes and puts up the tower there. This is one of the initiatives which has been talked about world over, that if you have put up one tower, share it. But sharing doesn't mean that you put up 20 towers on a building which is 55 years old and which is just a single floor building. Those kind of things we saw in Bombay, and in Delhi there were enough roofs available. There were not cluster of towers at one location. Perhaps that is the reason of radiation levels among the people so high in case of Bombay.